Lincoln Riley succeeded in hiring North Dakota State head coach Matt Entz to coach linebackers at USC. That's phenomenal. Like, I was blown away by this hire, and kudos to Logan Campbell, who beat a number of really great newsbreakers to get this really great news reported before anybody else. The thing about Matt Entz that I think you should know right off the top is he's won 2 national championships since 2019 as the head coach at North Dakota State. He's the guy that took over after Chris Kleiman took the job down at Kansas State. And he's been a 2-time head coach of the year in the FCS, 2019, 2021. He's coached 20 All-Americans since 2019. That's not including this 2023 year, for which I'm sure that number is going to go up. But some of the guys that he has coached include Trey Lance and Jabril Cox. Jabril Cox, who showed up at LSU to be pretty outstanding. Trey Lance, who was a top 5 pick in the NFL draft and might be the heir apparent to Dak Prescott and my Dallas Cowboys, but not for nothing. But I don't get too far on this. Dallas Cowboys look mean. We look mean. We look mean. Okay. Outside of that, what's his winning record been like? It's been 60-10. Like, that's phenomenal. That dude has won 60 games. He's lost just 10 as a head coach at NDSU. And at one point, they won 39 in a row at North Dakota State. And I find this fact pretty fun. They went 16-0. And going 16-0, they became the first program to go 16-0 since Yale in 1894. And they did it with a national championship win, 28-20, against James Madison. Yeah, that James Madison. James Madison that was also flirting with a perfect regular season just this year, going 11-1. And their head coach is now over at Indiana. I really love this hire, because it signals to the USC fan base that, no, you are taking them seriously. When Lincoln Riley says the defense is going to get better, at this point, it's become, okay, that's what head coaches say. What head coach does not want his defense or his offense to get better? But who are the guys you're asking to coach it? Now, D'Anton Lynn was one thing, and that dude is a rising star in the field. I think Riley is right about that, and he's going to be a head coach before you know it. But to get a guy like Matt Entz, who has this pedigree and that background, to pick up from Fargo and move to LA to coach a position for you, that says everything to me, because that means that Entz has a tremendous amount of respect for Riley and Lynn, and they're probably going to ask him to contribute as much as he is willing to as a linebacker coach to their culture, which needs to change on the defense. They have to get better. It's also worth saying that he took this job while still coaching in North Dakota State. So this Saturday, North Dakota State is going to play Montana in an FCS semifinal. So he could show up to SC with yet another national championship under his belt. And my favorite fact about Matt Entz in all of this is that he got his start as a strength and conditioning coach at Wayne State, as a man who worshiped at the altar of the National Strength and Conditioning Association, getting your CSE cert, getting your cert to be a CSCS, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. That's awesome. Like, that fired me up, because number one, I got a coach that understands how hard you have to work in the weight room and doesn't just hand that one off to a strength and conditioning coordinator. So you're probably going to be pretty good there. But I also got a coach that is about the work. He is not just sitting there chewing film. He's also, hey, how stronger are you getting? What is your injury prevention like? What is your nutrition like? And a lot of things just came into focus for me about Matt Entz and about the Bison by just knowing that, because my background is very much as an English professor, but also exercise and sports science at the University of Tulsa, where I wanted to do exactly that job. And I thought that was going to be my calling, was to make things bigger, faster, stronger, to really get them yoked up and make them ready to go do what they got to do. I love knowing that about Matt Entz, and I love that you're bringing that physical demand, that physical culture to that USC defense, because A, you need it, and B, you got to play in the Big Ten next year. And I don't know if anybody has told them yet, but teams like Iowa, teams like Michigan, teams like Ohio State, teams like Penn State, they are about their defense, and they will come after you. And you're going to get to see some familiar faces, because it's not just USC, UCLA. It's also Washington, Oregon, and Jonathan Smith becoming new head coach at Michigan State. Like, that conference has gotten to be so thick in a hurry that you're going to need somebody like a Matt Entz to help you navigate it, and a Matt Entz who is used to recruiting in the Midwest, which is a place that USC is going to have to go in and try to win now that they're going to be playing so many games in that part of the country. Again, phenomenal hire. I could not be higher on a position coach hiring than I am about Matt Entz at USC. One other thing to cite on all of this is I'm sure we're going to get to see more happening in as far as the transfer portal and head coaching. Remember, this show is up on Tuesday. We'll have another show for you on Thursday. And as this news happens, we will continue to keep up with it, but know that I am paying attention and we will talk about it.
If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.